Hello everyone, welcome back to online class. I am Akka Mahadevi from Upper Public School, Kalaburi. So today I am here to re-explain the same chapter, that is body movements, right? So as we all know, like what do you mean by body movements? Like all of us move different parts of our body while doing different activities on a daily basis, right? We do walking, we do running, we do jumping. So lots of activities we will do daily. So for some activities, we move one or the other part of our body, and for some activities, we move almost all the parts of our body, right? So now can you guess me like which is that activity where we move almost all the parts of our body? Yes, exactly, dancing. Okay, so while dancing, almost all the parts of our body we use, right? We like there will be a movement in the legs, arms, and even shoulder movement will be there, neck movement will be there, even eye expressions will be there, even lip movement will be there. So for one activity, we are using we are using so many movements, right? So this is what movement. So now you all might be thinking like what do you mean by this movement, right? So let me tell you. Yes. So movement is when the living organism moves a body part or parts without any change in the position of the organism. Okay. So what do you mean by movements? So now till now like you all come to know like what do you mean by movements? Like where we are moving our body and all, right? So now exact what do you mean by movements? Movement is when the living organism moves a body part or parts without any change in the position of the organism. Okay, so this is what? Yes, movements. So now when we talk about movement, so there are some parts in our body, even though when we are not doing any activities, then also movement is taking place. Can you guess which are those? Yes, let me tell you. For example, now I'm blinking my eyes, isn't it? Even though I'm not doing anything, then also I'm blinking my eyes. There is a movement, right? Even heart beats, even though we are at rest, isn't it? Even we breathe, even though when we are at rest. It is not like when we are working at that time only our heart beats, or when we are working at that time only we should blink our eyes. No, it is not like that. Even though we are at rest, some body movements are also happening, isn't it? So overall movement takes place inside the body also and even outside the body also, right? This is what movement. So now as you all can see the human skeleton, right? So now just you see this part, okay? So here this is the thigh bone, as you all know, right? And this is lower leg bone, right? And now this part. So as we all know that what do we call? We call knee, right? And now here you see. Here is upper arm and here also. And what do we call for this? This part. Yes, we call elbow, right? And now here shoulder. So what are these called? Exactly. Yes, what is the use of this? Yes, so these are the points where the two bones are going to meet. So because of these joints only we are able to walk, we are able to sit, we are able to stand, and even we are able to do our activities, isn't it? So these are the points which are helping us, isn't it? So what do we call for these points? Yes, exactly. We call joints. Okay, so what do you mean by joints here? Joints are like they are the place where the two bones meet, right? So where the two bones are going to meet, so that place, that particular place, what we call? We call joints. Okay, so joints are placed where two bones meet. As I said, like where the thigh bone and even the lower leg bone, they are going to meet in a particular place. So that particular where the two bones are going to meet, so that is called as joints. Okay, so joints are placed where two bones meet. So now we came to know about joints, isn't it? So now let us discuss about the types of joints. So which are those? Yes. So here are the types of joints. So the first is ball and socket joint, pivotal joint, hinge joint, fixed joint. Okay. So these are the types of joints. So once again, I'll repeat. So the first one is ball and socket joint. Second one is pivotal joint. Third one is hinge joint. And the fourth one is fixed joint. Right. So these are the joints which are present in our body. Isn't it? We know. So now let us discuss in detail like where do these joints are present. Isn't it? We came to know like all these joints are present in our body. But we don't know like where they are present. Right. So now let us discuss in detail about these types of joints. Okay. Yes. So first is ball and socket joint. Okay. So ball and socket joint. Where do we find like this joint in our body? Exactly. These types of joints are present in shoulder and in hip. Okay. So ball and socket joint. So how you can see here in the picture. Okay. So this is the arm, okay, and this is the bone which is attached to the arm, and this is like a socket. Okay, so when the when the bone of the arm is attached to the socket of the shoulder, so as you can see here, the ball which is of arm and the socket which is going to attach. So when these two like ball and socket they join together, so at that time what happens, they help in the movement of the shoulder like arm. Okay, so how it helps? For example, as you all know, like while bowling a ball and even while playing a skipping, so how we rotate our arm, isn't it? So full 360-degree we can rotate. How it is possible? Because of this ball and socket joint. So this ball and socket joint allows movement in almost all. It rotates completely. A complete rotation takes place, isn't it? So how it is possible? This is possible because of ball and socket joint. So here ball and socket joint allows movement. It takes complete. We can completely rotate our arm and even hip also. We from this only we can walk, isn't it? So where the ball and socket joint is present? Yes, ball and socket joint is present in shoulder and hip. Okay, so this is about ball and socket joint. So now next joint is pivotal joint. Okay, so where do we find this joint? Yes, this joint we can see in the neck, right, just below the skull. So this joint helps our head to move, isn't it? So where do we find this pivotal joint? In the like in neck. So what it helps? Yes. So because of this pivotal joint, we can turn our head forward also, even we can see to our sideways, even we can see upward, even we can see downward, but the only thing is like we cannot turn back side. Okay, so what the how pivotal joint helps? So it helps to move forward like sideways, and even we can see down also because of this pivotal joint. So pivotal joints allows the movement of the neck, which helps to move our neck, right? So this is about pivot joint. So you can see here, isn't it? So here is the pivot joint which allows the neck movement. Okay, so now next joint is a hinge joint. Okay, so now what do you mean by this hinge joint? So before that, let me tell you, like you can see here, these are the hinges. Even these hinges you can see in the doors of your home, right? So when you open and when you close the door, so how you can open? Only in one direction, or in the both direction you can open? No, only we can open and close the door only in one direction. So same like that, only hinge joints which are present in elbow and knees allow direction. That is, it allows only one direction. We can fold our hand. We cannot move it forward, right? Only we can fold. So how it is possible? Because of the hinge joint. So here hinge joint allows the movement only in one direction, and these joints are present in elbow and in knees. Okay, so this is about hinge joint. So now the last joint, which is that? Yes, the joint is fixed joint. Okay, so where do we find this fixed joints? Exactly in the skull. Okay, so as you all know that in the skull there are all the joints, like all the bones are interlocked each other, isn't it? They are fixed, and in the overall skull only one movable joint, that is present in the lower jaw, isn't it? So because of that only we can talk, we can see, we can move our lower jaw but not upper jaw, because that is, the upper jaw is attached, it is attached to the bone, it cannot move, but the only movable part in the skull is the lower jaw. Okay, so this is about the fixed joints. Okay, so now we learnt about ball and socket joint, isn't it? Next we learnt about pivotal joint, isn't it? So next we learnt about hinge joint, isn't it? And next we learnt about, yes, we learnt about fixed joints. Okay, so these are the types of joints. Okay, so till now, like, we have discussed about bones, and even we have discussed about joints, and even we have discussed about the types of joints, isn't it? So now we will move forward and we will discuss about human skeleton, right? So as you all know that human skeleton is a framework of bones, isn't it? Do you remember like how many bones are present in adult humans? Yes, exactly. 206 bones are present in the adult human, isn't it? So, as the definition is here, like, what do you mean by human skeleton? Yes, all the bones in our body form a framework. So, all the bones which are present in our body, they form a framework. For what they form a framework? Yes, to give shape and support to our body. And this framework is called the skeleton. Okay, so what do you mean by this? What do you mean by the skeleton? So all the bones in our body form a framework to give shape and support to our body. And this framework is called the skeleton. Do you know that this human skeleton protects most of the, like, many internal organs which are present in our body, isn't it? Yes. So now let us see what are the uses of this skeleton, right? So the first one is like it protects all the delicate internal organs, as I said just now, right? So the skeleton protects all the delicate internal organs, and even it helps us to walk, isn't it? So even skeleton helps us to walk, and even it gives support, it gives shape and strength to our body, isn't it? And like skeleton, it is a storehouse of calcium and phosphorus. Okay, so once again I'll repeat the uses of skeleton. Like, it protects all the delicate internal organs, right? It helps us to walk, it gives support, shape and strength to our body, and even it is a storehouse of calcium and phosphorus. Okay, so this is about skeleton and the uses of skeleton. Okay, so now my question is like, how do we come to know the shape of the bones? Like, how we come to know that this is only the shape of skeleton? How we can identify the human skeleton? Can you guess? See, by touching we can assume, like, we cannot say accurately, but we can get roughly idea about the shape of the bones by touching and by feeling. But how we get the accurate diagram, accurate like shape of the bones? Can you guess? Let me show you. Yes. So what is this? This is the X-ray. So you all know when you'll get hurt. So if the bones are damaged, so what the doctor will advise? They'll advise to take an X-ray, right? So why do you think like they advise to take an X-ray? Exactly, to see the bones which are present in our body. So this X-ray gives the accurate shape of the bone. So for that only doctors advise to take the X-ray, isn't it? So X-ray, what it helps? It helps to show us the shape of the bones, isn't it? So this is what about the human skeleton, right? So now let us discuss in detail about the human skeleton, isn't it? So now what do you mean by rib cage? What do you mean by skull? So now let us see one by one, okay? Yes. So as you all know that this is rib cage, isn't it? So do you remember like how many pairs of ribs are there? Exactly, 12 pairs of ribs, isn't it? So there are 12 pairs of ribs. And this ribs, like from where to where it connects? It connects from the chest bone to the, from front side to the back side, isn't it? So these ribs are connected from the chest bone to the backbone, isn't it? And it forms a cage-like structure for which we call rib cage, isn't it? So do you know like which are the internal parts which are protected safely inside this rib cage? Yes, heart and lung. So these two internal organs are protected inside this rib cage, isn't it? This is about rib cage. So now we will move forward and we will discuss about backbone. Okay, so the backbone, as you all can see here. So the backbone runs from the neck to the hip, right? So the backbone runs from the neck to the hip and it is made up of many small bones called vertebrae. Okay, so here you can see there are many small bones. Do you know like how many vertebrae are present in the backbone? Exactly, 33 vertebrae are present in the backbone, isn't it? This is about backbone. So now we will move forward and we will explain. Like, let us come to know about the shoulder bones. Okay. So as we all know that we have two shoulders, one is right and one is left. And here you can see, as I have mentioned here, isn't it? So this is the shoulder bone. Okay, how many shoulder bones are there? Two, right? So now next one is pelvic bones. Okay, so pelvic bone, this is like where the pelvic bones will be just below the stomach. This is the part where we sit on, isn't it? So pelvic bone is a part where we sit on, isn't it? This is what about pelvic bones. So now next one is skull. Okay, so as I said you before, like, so skull is also called as a brain box. Why it is called as a brain box? Because it protects our brain, isn't it? So skull protects our brain, so that it is called as a brain box. And in the whole skull part, only the movable joint is in the lower jaw, and remaining all the bones are interlocked with each others. They are interlocked tightly. They are immovable joints, right? Only the part which is movable in the skull is the lower jaw. Okay, so this is all about skull. Okay, so now we will move forward and we will discuss about this cartilage. Okay, so as we all know that like there are, as we learnt about the bones and even we learnt about the joints also, isn't it? So apart from this, like there are some part to the skeleton which are not hard as bone but can be bent easily, and they are called as cartilages, isn't it? You can see here. Okay, so cartilages are not as hard as bone, isn't it? Even you can see these cartilages here, and on the nose tip also you can see, and even you can see in between the joints of the body. Okay, so these cartilages are even found in the joints and even on the nose tip and even in the ear also, isn't it? This is what about cartilages. Okay, so now we will discuss about muscles. So you can see, so this is the part where the muscles are present, and here only you can see the bones, right? So muscles are soft tissues, isn't it? So here what happens, muscles can only pull, they cannot push, and muscles work in pair, isn't it? So when the muscles work in pair, then only a body can, like a bone can move, isn't it? Do you know like how many muscles are present in our body? Exactly, 639 muscles are present in our body, isn't it? So this is about muscles. Okay. So now we will discuss about gait of animals, right? So there are different ways of animals, like, isn't it? So few animals move from one place to another, isn't it? So how do, like, what do you think, like, how do they move? So first, before that, let me tell you, like, get means what, isn't it? So get means a particular way of walking, isn't it? So get means what? A particular way of walking. Now, like if we talk about cow, if we talk about buffalo, dogs, cats, so how they walk? Exactly, they walk. They walk, even they may run, isn't it? So what about snakes? Snakes can also walk? No, they slithers, right? So what about birds? Birds can fly. And what about insects? Insects can walk, insects can fly, and insects can crawl. And what about fish? Yes, fish can swim, right? So now we will study about how the animals move from one place to another place. Okay, now we will discuss about few animals. Okay, so the first one is earthworm. Okay, so you can see the body of the earthworm, how it is made. Yes, it is made up of many rings, isn't it? So these earthworms are made up of many rings joined end to end, isn't it? So an earthworm does not have bones, isn't it? So they don't have the bones. Okay, so an earthworm, as I said, like they don't have the bones, it has muscles which help to extend and shorten the body, isn't it? So muscle, like earthworm, how it moves? It moves like it extends and it contraction will be there, isn't it? While there is a movement, expansion and contraction takes place when there will be a movement of earthworm, isn't it? Like, do you know that what we call for the earthworm? Yes. Yes, earthworm is also called as farmer's friend, isn't it? They are the friend of farmers because they help a lot, isn't it? Yes, this is about earthworm. So now we will move forward and we will discuss about snail. Okay, so snail is a very slow moving animal, isn't it? It is like you can see a shell which carries, isn't it? Snail carries a shell on its back. So it is the outer skeleton of the snail, but it is not made of bones, isn't it? It is a shell, it is not a bone. Okay, so snail has only one foot. Okay, so the snail will be having only one foot. So foot of snail is large, flat and disc shaped, made of strong muscles. Okay, so snail moves with the help of food. Okay, so how the snails move? With the help of food. Okay, this is about snail. So now we will move forward and we will discuss about cockroach. Okay, so as you all are familiar with this cockroach, right? So how the cockroaches will move? Some will walk, some will fly, isn't it? So cockroach can walk, even they can climb as well as fly in the air, isn't it? The body of like cockroach is covered with a hard outer skeleton, which is made of number of plates joined together that permits movement. So you can see, isn't it? The part which is above, that is very rough, isn't it? So there are two pairs of wings attached to the body behind head, isn't it? The cockroach have distinct muscles, isn't it? So they have distinct muscles. Those near the legs move the legs for walking, and the body muscles move the wings when the cockroach flies. So like this, these wings help them, isn't it? So this is about cockroach. So now we will move forward and we will discuss about birds. So as you all know birds, how the birds will fly, isn't it? So birds fly in the air and even some birds walk on the ground, isn't it? And like some birds like ducks and swans also swim in water, isn't it? So the few birds can fly, few birds can walk, and even few birds can swim in water, isn't it? So the birds can fly because their bodies are well suited for flying. We can fly like birds. No, because our body is not suited like that. Because of their structure of the body, the birds can fly. So their bones are hollow and light, isn't it? So the bones of the birds will be hollow and very light. Okay, hind limbs are used for walking and perching. The shoulder bones are very strong of the birds, isn't it? The breastbones are modified to hold muscles of type which are used to move the wings up and down. Okay, so this is all about birds, like how the birds will fly, isn't it? So now we will move forward and we will discuss about, yes, fish. Okay, so as you all see, you can see the fish, isn't it? So how the body of the fish will be? Exactly, streamlined, isn't it? So body shape of fish is streamlined. The head and tail of the fish are smaller than the middle portion of the body. You can see here in the image, right? The body tapers at both ends. This body shape is called streamlined. So this part and this part, see, and the middle part is bit wider, isn't it? So this shape we call as a streamlined, isn't it? So the shape is such that water can flow around it easily and allowed to move in water, isn't it? So this body helps them to move in water easily, isn't it? So the skeleton of the fish is covered with, yes, strong muscles. Fish also have other fins on their body which mainly help to keep the balance of the body and to keep direction while swimming. Okay, so this is about fish. So now we will move forward and we will discuss about, yes, can you guess what is this? Exactly, snake, isn't it? So we all know how the snakes will move, isn't it? So snakes have, they have long backbone, isn't it? They have many thin muscles. They are like connected to each other even though they are far from one another. So as you all can see in the picture, isn't it? So they are connected to each other even though they are far from one another. You can see the thin muscles also, right? So here muscles are interconnected the backbone to ribs and skin, isn't it? So what happened here? Muscles are interconnect the backbone, ribs and skin. Okay, so the snake body curved into many loops. So when the snake will be moving, like you can see, like the snake moves in a straight line. No, it takes loop. It forms a curved loops. Okay, so each loop of the snake gives it a forward push by pressing against the ground. Okay, so since its long body makes many loops, isn't it? So here you can see, so by forming a loop, the snakes can move, isn't it? So this is all about the snake, isn't it? So now we come to know about how the different types of animals move with the help of their body, isn't it? So this is all about body movements. So today in this class, whatever we have learned, just we will recapitulate, right? So first we have discussed about bones, isn't it? So next we have discussed about joints. Okay, so next we have discussed about types of joints. So can you remember, like, what are the types of joints? Exactly, ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivotal joint and fixed joints. And even we have discussed about the skeleton system also, right? So even we discussed about rib cage, even we discussed about backbone, even we discussed about pelvic bone, shoulder bone, and even about skull also, isn't it? And at last we have discussed about gait of animals, isn't it? So here we learned about the movements, right? So this is all about the body movements. I hope you all enjoyed this class. Okay? Thank you.